Today, by request, we are going to be having an overhead flip through of a number of reading comprehension workbooks for approximately grades 4 and 5, so stick around. Hi, my name's Jennifer. Thank you so much for joining me today. On my channel, we talk about all things homeschool, and right now, it's curriculum. So I had received a request to do an overhead flip through of some reading comprehension workbooks that I have for approximately grades 4 and 5. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So if you have a specific request for a video, please feel free to include in the comments so that we can do the video if we have the resources available. Now, for today's video, we are going to be looking at the Smart Alec Reading Comprehension, and this is for age 9 plus, which is approximately what they're considering 4th and 5th grade. Then we have the Scholastic reading tests for grade 4, the reading comprehension for grade 4, then the Carson Dellosa for grade 5, Abeka grade 5, and then also the reading detective for grades 5 and 6. And I like to do these just really kind of in order of cost. So I will tell you the cost as of today on christianbook.com for each one of these. And we will start at the least expensive, which is this Smart Alec Reading Comprehension. As of today on christianbook.com, it is $1.99. Now, Smart Alec has a number of different levels, but as far as I can tell, I have 2 of them, and they are all set up the same way. So for this one, it's going to be talking about the Williams sisters, Frederick Douglass, the cell phone, first home video game systems, Florence Nightingale, and Who Is It? And then this also includes the answer key. All right. Now for each one, you have about 2 pages to read. Frederick Douglass 1, 2, and then you do a number of different pages that are related to the reading comprehension. So you have some type of word search or word game, and then they do a jumble here, the Frederick Douglass phrase, a crossword, and then you get to the answering the questions about what you read. Then for the cell phone, it'll be the same thing. So you have the word search, etc. And then at the very end, you have the questions. You have more things to do for each passage, but again, there are only 6 passages in this workbook, and then you have the answer keys. Secondly, the reading tests. Now, this is Scholastic reading tests, and both of these Scholastic reading comprehensions were $4.99 on christianbook.com. This is 4th grade, and again, they are all set up basically the same. So your reading test is going to be a reading comprehension with just a few questions, and then for each reading comprehension, you have just a couple of questions that go with that passage. Now, at the end, they do different final pages. So mostly it is synonyms and antonyms. This one's synonyms and multiple meanings. So for practice test 8, again, it's just a short couple paragraphs and then answer the questions. Then here you can see the synonyms and antonyms. For this, you have 15 practice tests, each set up with a short passage to read, the questions, and then this one is vocabulary, which word it's missing, so that this does change some. And then obviously you have your answer key as well. For the reading comprehension, this one is set up differently than the reading tests. So this shows you that this is the different contents that we have, and it will be a 1 page of reading, and then you answer questions. So this question page is going to be different for each reading comprehension. So for example, this one is sequencing. This is reviewing skills, so similar and different. And then they have the fill in the blank. This one is check how Juan felt in each situation, positive, negative. So you're analyzing characteristics. Making predictions. Identifying the story elements. Identifying cause and effect. Following directions. So, and again, you have your answer key on this one is the reading comprehension. So for the Carson Dellosa, I purchased it at Ollie's for $1.99, but on christianbook.com, they do have it for $9.49. I will include in below the links for these different resources. So for this one, it's set up a little bit differently. The beginning portion is skill assessment. So these are just going to be assessing where you are right now for the skill. And then here, this gives you the analysis. So it shows you your skills, Common Core standards, assessment items, and then the practice pages based on these different skills. Then we get into the actual practice pages. So this is summarizing. So you have to read and then summarize the story. So that's a little bit more difficult. So this, again, is a little bit more difficult than the other three that we have looked at, which also makes sense because it is in 5th grade and the 2 Scholastics were 4th grade. But as far as I can tell, those are some pretty general formats for Scholastic. For this one, for example, match each headline with the correct story. So you have headlines and then you have to read the stories to know which one goes with each headline. This is, now we're into story elements. We're still in the story elements section. Now we're into inferring. Compare and contrast. So again, this is much higher of a level than what we've seen at Scholastic or the Smart Alec. Okay. And then also this has the answer key at the back. Now, Abeka, this is the 5th grade skill sheets. The 4th grade skill sheets are set up extremely similarly. So we've already used some of these. This is your answer key here for every one of them. And so these are set up so that you have one page to read, and it gives you the instructions for how long you have. So for example, here you would have 4.5 minutes. And then we have one page to read, and then you have multiple choice answers. And this is a Christian curriculum. So the materials will definitely have a Christian viewpoint. And so again, this is all set up the same. And for 4th grade, it is set up the same as well. Direction. So now we're down to 4 minutes. So they started at 4.5. Now they're down to 4 minutes. And again, you read and then you have the multiple choice. Now on christianbook.com, this is $12.10 for this book. And they are the same throughout the entire book. Now we're down to 3.5 minutes. And there are 42 reading comprehension pages. And then again, in 4th grade, we just finished that one as well. So I know that there are 42 in 4th grade as well. So 4th grade is set up exactly the way 5th grade set up for the read and comprehend skill sheets. Now, finally, we do have the Reading Detective. Now, this is the most expensive at $24.99 on christianbook.com. And this says it's for grades 5 and 6. And this is definitely a higher level than the other than some of the other ones we have looked at. So for the table of contents, you're going to have skill lessons, pre-test, then literature excerpts and activity pages, fictional short stories, and then nonfiction articles. This shows for grades 5 and 6 what each passage does. So you have your passages here, and then reading, literary analysis. This is still the introduction, and so now we get into the pretest. For the first pretest, you have a fiction pretest. You read one page, and then you look at and you have the multiple choice as well as put the following events in their correct timeline. And then you have some of your short answer. Here's your nonfiction pretest, and it is set up similarly. Then we have, this is literature excerpts. So again, this one's from Fudge-a-Mania by G.D. Bloom. We like that book. So again, you're reading the passage and then you have multiple questions. This is a why question. We'll get into fiction. To read the excerpt and then you choose or write the best answer. As you can see, there are quite a few in this reading comprehension book. Then we get into nonfiction. How to make dough ornaments. After the nonfiction, we get into post-tests. And so this is basically, you're looking at each of the different areas that are included in doing a post-test. So this is fiction, then nonfiction. Again, you're doing quite a bit of short answer writing. Then you have your answers. And so you have your answers for all of the tests that are included. So again, this is, this reading detective is definitely the most difficult of what we've shown today. It also has the most material and it's also the most expensive. So this one, you have 50 of the, not counting your pre-test or your post-test, you do have 50 reading comprehensions that are included. I hope that this was helpful. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to leave them in the comments below. Also, if you have any type of flip through or comparisons that you would like to see, please leave that as well. I would appreciate you hitting that subscribe button as we are working through quite a bit of material right now for both what we have finished and our thoughts on what we use this year, as well as looking into next year. Thank you again for your time. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.